Hi everybody and welcome to Saturday Sampler. It's me again, Marilyn. I'm back and we're in July. And so glad to see all of you. Welcome back. We're working remotely once again and so glad to have you with us. So this month is very exciting because we have 2 blocks for you. What? I know. And they're really fun blocks. You're going to really enjoy them, I promise. Okay, maybe you won't, but you will. You will. But we always are attracted to fabric, but if you look a little around you, there's some very exciting food sitting in front of me. So this month, I'm doing some of my favorite fruit pizza. I know, pizza isn't just for dinner, it's also for dessert. And you say, where is the chocolate? Well, of course there's chocolate. I wouldn't disappoint you. It's in the crust. So I have, first of all, because we're entering 4th of July, happy 4th of July, we always have to have something sparkly, right? We can't forget our champagne. I mean, there's always a time and place for champagne. I put a little fruit in it because, you know, that's wonderful summer bounty of fruit. So you can throw a little fruit in here. Ode to my good friend Marie, who every time we get together, she gives us a little champagne with some raspberries and chocolate in it. So I have some raspberries and chocolate in there and some strawberries and some blueberries. So cheers to you. It goes really good with the fruit pizza and other things as well. So cheers. I'm going to set that off to the side so I don't drop it. So here, now in the recipe, and we'll post it early for those of you who are working remotely and won't get the recipe in the morning with the block, but it calls for a 12-inch pizza pan, and I didn't have that, so I just put that in what I had. I think it's like about a 10-inch, and I had some left over, so I made a little square and made a little flag. So that's the one that I cut into today. So you can kind of see it's a sugar cookie dough, and then I threw in some little mini chocolate chips because those are delicious. So it's really soft dough. So, you know, it is a little bit, you know, eating pizza with a fork. What? I know. But it's so delicious. A cream cheese frosting. Light and fluffy and so good with the fruit. Delicious, right, Jerry? He's agreeing. Super good. I think you'll love it. For you and everybody you're partying with. Okay, us and the cats. They won't like it, but we will. So, really, really good.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
That's really pretty.
Looks so good. So, probably easier in a pizza pan, but you know what? We will enjoy it. And I hope you do too. It's really delicious. And pretty easy to make. Okay. Right, Jerry? Okay, he's saying yes because he didn't help. Okay. So, now we're going to get on to our blocks. Tulip Connectors is the first page, and it's page 8. And so you need, we'll go to fabric 1 and watch it between fabric 1 and 2 because it can be confusing. Okay, so always look at your color chart. So fabric 1, it's a short strip. It's cut in half. So it says 21 inches. You know, this really going to be a little bit longer, but don't fret about that. Just cut 4 strips. It says 2.5 by 21. If they're a little bit longer, it doesn't matter. Just cut 4 of them. Okay? Fabric 2. Don't screw up with this, okay? It's a wide strip, so you're just going to cut it down a little bit, 6.5 inches wide, and they're going to cross cut it 2.5. So I just doubled up and was able to cut 4 at a time, but however you do it, it's going to yield 16 2.5 by 6.5. Now if you cut it long and cut 2.5 inch strips and try to cut 6.5 out of it that way, it's not going to work. Okay, you'll end up with a lot extra, but you will only get 12 of those rectangles. So 6.5 inch, cut it down width, and then cross cut 2.5 inch strips. Okay, fabric 3, you're going to cut 1 wide 4.5 inch strip. It's 4.5 by 21, so it's a short half strip, and then you cut 2.5 by 21 inch strips. I'm not cutting it down to 21. It's going to be a little bit longer. You can cut it down later when you're making your big strips. Okay. Fabric 5. It's one big 8.5 by 21. one big strip. And then fabric 7, 16 2.5-inch squares. So I cut two 2.5-inch strips and then cut them down to 16. Okay, I'm going to jump right into the cutting for the second block. You got 2 bags. The second bag is quarter moon flowers. Very exciting. I know you've been waiting for this. This is for the curved piece. So in the traditional world, they're called Drunkard's Path squares. This is our curved piecing lesson. I know you couldn't wait for it. So you have 2 fabrics. You have fabric 8 and you have fabric 11. You're going to cut both of those into 8 7.5-inch squares. So 2 7.5-inch strips. And out of each of those, you'll get 8 7.5-inch squares. You'll have a bunch left over. Save those. Don't throw out your extras when you have big pieces. You might be able to need them somewhere else down the line. You know, if you maybe make a cutting error. I know none of you do that, but just in case, save those extras for later. Now, you have another sheet that has the template. Don't cut the original, okay? Or, you know, okay, I'm just making a suggestion. That sounds super bossy, but don't do it. Make a copy, make sure it's the same size. That's what I did. And then use that as your template. That way you have the original, just in case something happens, all right? But if something does happen, I do have one that I could copy for you. Make sure and test it that it is the same size when you copy it, because once in a while our copiers shrink it. So check it before you cut it, because then you come back and go, oh, my stuff didn't match. Well, maybe you didn't copy it the right size. Okay, there you go. Cut it out. You don't need both of them. Just cut one out. I have 2, but you only need 1. And then, before we get to the next video, what I did is I took a pin and I pinned 4 together. And then I have a pencil that has light chalk, and I'm just going to take my paper template and I'm going to mark it. And you might not be able to see it, but it is marking along here. Okay, there's a little white chalk mark. And then I will take my pin and pin this side. Now I'm ready to cut it, and it depends upon your comfort level whether you want to cut it with your rotary cutter. It depends upon how steady your hand is. So if you feel good about it, you could cut it with your rotary cutter. And I just have 4 layers and they're pinned together, and I'll turn it a little bit and just keep cutting. And if you don't like the thought of that, so you have 2 pieces, one like this and one like this, and I have them pinned together. And you have to do that twice, okay? If you don't like that, then just get your scissors out and cut them, okay? And you're gonna do that again, the exact same thing for fabric 11. So I would just move the sticker here. I have it pinned once. Again, I'm gonna put this on here, right in the corner, lining up the edges, and then mark it all the way along. And then I would put a pin in this side so that both sides are together. And then again, cut it, either with scissors or your rotary cutter along the way. Okay, so you're going to use both of these. Okay, one for one side and one the other. And in the next video, we're going to break it up into 2 videos. One, I'll show you the piecing for the first block, and the second one, I'll show you the piecing for the quarter moon flowers. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.